Are we on the air?
I'm
We
ready.
are
I'm ready. I
on
got
the
my
air. We're on the
are
air.
we?
We're on the air. God damn it, we're on the air. Welcome to Freddy's
This is
Fan Fiction.
unprofessional.
This is, of course it is. This is Freddy's Fan Fiction, episode 22, The Rebirthening. Welcome back, everyone. We have spent the past year and a half, 2 years, I don't know. Since I guess this is the Rebirthening, I think we might have been just like shoved up a hoo-ha somewhere. Is that where we've been?
We don't talk about it.
I think for an elephant's length of time too. So maybe it was an elephant's hoo-ha because I've seen pictures and I think people can fit in there and like bounce around. So
Everyone watching?
Awkward.
Google that. So, what we're going to do is we are going to introduce our guests in reverse order of having shown up. And so, we're going to start with Kristen. Kristen, introduce yourself.
This is like a punishment for being too fucking stupid to find the log on button. I swear. I am Sir Kristen, Queen of the Desert Esquire. I am the host of a show called, you've probably heard of it, Talking Shit with Dave and Earl. You haven't heard of it. I also host the Shitface Spelling Bee. Spelling? I don't play.
Could you use that in a sentence?
I have the master lesson. Oh, yeah, you can find all that on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/GOVNEH. And generally on the internet, if you Google Govna, you find me. And if you don't find me, let me know, because I have some ass to kick.
It's probably some cockney bastard. So, next, we have Charisse.
Hey, I'm Charisse. I am the executive director for ShoDatCon in Rapid City, South Dakota, and just pretty much trying to make a geek's world here in South Dakota.
And it's working really well. I've been to ShoDatCon. Super awesome. And yeah, you do a great job. You are like a machine out there. So thank you for doing that and bringing that to the people who really need it out in the middle of the country.
The little people.
Yes. You guys need to come back sometime because that was such a blast.
Oh my God, yeah. Flyoverland,
We had so much fun.
stuff that you do. So, and next we have Rob.
My name's Rob. I do geekbearsden.com, and it's my own website. You can also find me at Grimgaroth on Twitter. And if you want to see stuff I've written prior to my own site, that would be 042.com and ideologyofmadness.com.
Excellent, excellent. So we have three fantastic geeks here, and then there's me, Freddy, of Freddy's Fan Fiction. What do? I do this. This is the show. And I am at Swami. And I also have, I guess, a website for a blog that I do when I remember to do it called Something's Brewing. It's blogswami.com. So go there, and you can see what Swami blogs at blogswami.com. So, what we have, Freddy's Fan Fiction. You may remember how it used to go. And that's not how we do things now. This is a show where we make the fan fiction. We do it. And because it's been so long, one of the things that we do in this show is we have a story that is written by one of the guests, and that story is based upon prompts given by the other guests. Well, I couldn't remember what we did the last episode because I was too lazy to watch the episode, and so I just decided to harass people on Twitter until they gave me prompts. And so here is what they gave me. Genre is being told a story by the person it happened to, like a super good story. And that was submitted by @JacksonTgu. I think, Kristen, you probably recognize that.
Just call him Jackson. Like Jackson Tigu is just his name.
Yeah, I know. @JacksonTgu on Twitter. Yeah, he's a great game designer, and yeah, Jackson Tigu, cool guy, awesome
He's a
guy.
great person. I once watched him tackle a different game designer, and basically punch him into a wall just because he got too excited.
Was it deserved?
Great guy. No, it was out of nowhere. It just happened. He tackled Adam Coble. Just no reason. Because.
I think
That's kind of awesome.
I think I remember hearing about that. That was a random act of Jackson.
He gets very excited and just does things, and he wound up breaking his arm that way recently. or last year. So let's check some.
You win some, you lose some. So, the other prompts that I put into this story, one of the characters of the story is Rain Man from Rain Man. And the setting is the Blade Runner universe. And those were submitted by Neil Wintle, @NWintle on Twitter. And finally, though I thought that was all that would be added, Sam the Moose had to add something else. @Neosect. He had to add that it was a heist story. So, one second. Coughed just there. But I was polite and put it on mute. I'm getting over a cold, and apparently the ghost of that cold is living in my throat, trying to get out.
I thought you were panting to mock the dog in the room with me. I just saw the tongue.
I don't mock dogs on the other side of the country, like through Google Plus Hangouts.
Come after you?
I think dogs don't comprehend Google Plus as well as many people, and
I think it's like I think the thing is it's okay to mock dogs because they don't understand it. But that's the same logic that makes it unfair to scare dogs because they don't understand it. It's dogs and babies. It's really horrific if you scare them. They just get scared and sad.
dogs and babies. They're
So I've been drinking.
no. It's dogs and babies are pretty much the same, right? You know, I've heard.
More or less.
Yeah, who was it that said that babies are like dogs that slowly learn how to talk?
My husband.
That's probably true.
Babies are dogs that slowly learn not to shit on the floor.
Oh, I don't know. That's a stretch.
You've never had a 2-year-old, have you?
No.
Not even for
Okay.
a second.
I have a story for you, sir. But now is not the time.
No.
Because we have
another story. Okay, so what's going to happen is y'all, in the order that you were introduced, are going to read the story. So, 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Anyway, Kristen, that would mean you go first.
All right. The Rainplicant. Fucking Christ. By Freddy. The rain. It's like replicant, but rain.
Rainplicant.
Yeah, Rainplicant.
Yeah, there you go. The rain. There, what they said. She stood at the corner of 2 streets. It's impossible to tell what a street is anymore, with the cars flying overhead and foot traffic clogging corridors down here in the grime. She took a last drag off her last cigarette and exhaled. The smoke fought its way upward through the stale rain, curling out from under her neon-lit umbrella. I fought through the endless crowd. My hands hovered over my wallet and my piece. I settled in near her and leaned against the corroded concrete slabs. "What's the word?" she asked. She didn't feel the need to sidle closer to me to share her umbrella, so I flipped up my collar against the elements. Nobody could have followed me. I took the scenic route. She laughed at that, showing the corner of her drawn-down mouth from under her umbrella. "Well," I said, "did you get the files? Did the new fence get a good deal?" She tilted up her umbrella, looking straight in the eye, and said, "Here's the payout." Her gloved hand pulled the bill with Benjamin Franklin printed front and center. She let it flutter the filthy pavement. It floated a couple feet before I stepped on it. I picked it up, inspected it, and nodded at her. "Where'd you stash the rest?" "You're not listening, dumbass. That's all there is." $100, I said. "Do you know what the boss will do if we come back with this fucking insult?" "Why do you think I wanted to meet you here? We gotta do something." "What the fuck happened?" I was beginning to get that fluttery feeling in the front of my brain. I get that feeling sometimes when the shit starts to make that splatter pattern on the wall. Whose fuck up is this? Did you not get the right file stick? Did you get the screwed over? Good job, Kristen. Way to English. Did you get screwed over? Charisse, why don't you take over?
My turn?
Yep.
It's complicated, she said, her fist clenched so the leather crack streaked over her knuckles. And took out tabs. I did the move where a single cigarette sticks up and I took it between my lips and lit it in one move. She eyeballed the pack. Reluctantly, I offered, giving me the shelter of her umbrella. I lit her cigarette with the tip of mine. Okay, start from where things went wrong. The boss isn't expecting us back to pay out for a while. We can maybe get this fixed. She took a deep breath. Fine. We got in through the front door just like you arranged. The secretary nodded at the right words and buzzed us through. The shard was right there staring us in the eye. The cryo sleeve you designed let us cold snap the image into the socket, and that gave us a whole minute to remove it and read the whole thing. In fact, I made another copy for the boss. I was pretty happy so far. Sounds like everything went to plan. Was the image not fully copied? Damn it, we got the whole thing. We did everything right. We fluttered right out there before the socket thawed. The secretary even waved us goodbye, she snorted. Yeah, I thought her cut might have been too high. The auto taxi you scheduled for us pulled up to the curb the minute we hit the sidewalk. It took us to the fence. Rain Man, I said. The other shoe was going to drop. Her cigarette was nearly finished by that point, and I fished out another one and lit on the bones of her old one. Much obliged, she said. And yes, we made it to... Whatever his real name is, I don't think he remembers. All I'm sure of is that he meant to pay us peanuts from the very beginning. I ground my teeth. She had an uncanny ability to read people, and if she was right, I was going to have words with this new fence. You're certain? As sure as I'm a full-blooded woman and not one of them damn replicants, she said, looking up with eyes that couldn't be turned away from. Then let's make this right, I said, and I patted the pistol in my pocket. She grinned. Right with you. Your turn.
I pumped a few extra bucks into the auto taxi, giving it a meandering route to Rain Man's suite on a middle floor of an aging Tyrell Corporation building. It hovered at the balcony entrance until we were both safely offloaded. The guard at the door only flinched when he recognized my partner walking up to the door. He stepped in front of us in the practiced way a bouncer only knows how to do. Your deal is done, he said to her. All sales are final. We'd like a second opinion, Doc, I said subtly, pressing the muzzle of my gun into his gut. That doesn't even make sense, he said. Clever guy. He was also clever in that he let us go in without raising a fuss. They're right. An armed society is a polite society. Because everyone is scared of scumbags like me.
You needed an extra fucking in there?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Rain Man swiveled around, obviously expecting a new client. When he saw her, his eyes widened. You can't be here. This is 2 times, and you only get to be in here 1 time. That's how many times? You screwed us over, I said. I gave you all the money it was worth, said Rain Man. This was a data heist, buddy. We expected a big payout, and you're saying that it's only worth $100. Definitely $100. I moved in to throttle him, but my partner held me back. Wait up. There's something strange. She looked Rain Man in the eye, and he looked away. It was like I could see the gears turning in her head. Her hand went to her pocket, not the pocket with her pistol, but the other pocket, where she kept her huge collection of Tic Tacs. I suppose I shouldn't have mentioned that she has super bad breath. Mr. Rain Man, would you like a Tic Tac, she said. He looked up. Definitely. How much would you pay me for one of these Tic Tacs? Next.
$100, he said. Bingo. They make me remember home when I was a kid, said Rain Man. Tic Tacs are candy, and I get to eat candy when I watch the TV. Right, she said. How about I sell you all of my Tic Tacs? Remember to save one for yourself, please, I thought. Definitely, he said. She poured them onto the table. 57 Tic Tacs, he said immediately. Is it okay if I count out the bills for you? I said. Definitely, he said. As I counted out the bills, $100 per Tic Tac. He put one in his mouth. Wait. Put a bill in his... Wait. He put one into his mouth. His eyes
A
really
Tic Tac,
swollen.
that is, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't put $1. Yeah, I should make that clear. He
Bills
didn't
on
just
money?
eat $100.
I I remember when I was a kid. Hundreds.
I did not edit this story, by the way.
Who edits fan fiction? I remember a trick I took, he said. I was in the desert walking in the sand, when all of a sudden I looked down and I saw a tortoise crawling toward me. She looked up stunned. Stop that right now. But he wasn't listening to her. I reached down and flipped it over on its back. It was just laying there, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it couldn't without my help. It was the weirdest thing, seeing her freak out. She's never freaked out before. That doesn't make sense. You helped, right? She said. Rain Man finally looked her in the eye. I didn't help. Why is that? Her pupils dilated wildly. She took the rest of the Tic Tacs out of her pocket while screaming, flung them in the air, and threw herself out the window. That was unexpected, I said. 556, said Rain Man. You want to finish this, Charisse?
Sure. You got any smaller bills, I asked. I got $100, he said, and handed me a thick brick of hundreds. Deal. I took an auto taxi home, sad to have lost a partner, but glad to have gained a bigger cut of the payout.
So, like, Rain Man is, trying to remember, who wrote East of Eden? Steinbeck. Rain Man Steinbeck. There's a turtle in the road. Never mind. I'm sorry. We're reading fan fiction. I didn't mean to make a literary joke.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? What? I don't read, like, stories. Anyway, so that was that story. Let's see here. So since this is a new format, we're doing something a little bit different that we've never done before, and we're trying for the first time here live in front of people. So let's see if we can make this work. Kristen, I don't know if you've read the prep email I sent you, but you're familiar with the game Microscope?
I am not familiar with the game. I am familiar with improv, however.
Okay, so you know the idea of Microscope is you don't tell a story linearly. You just kind of fill in the gaps where it seems appropriate to be like, oh yeah, I remember that this happened here and all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a fan fiction story right now, all of us, and we're going to tell this story that we all of a sudden remember, and we're going to recall the parts of the story that we liked the best, and we're just going to kind of do that. So, what kind of story is this, guys?
I think we should totally do Avengers since, it came out today.
So Avengers, so kind of in the Avengers universe, all right.
Yeah.
And what genre? I think I kind of like the idea of it being like a biography.
Oh, see, I was going to go with a dark comedy.
A dark comedy?
Or noir.
Or we could do like a dark comedy like memoir. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Memoir. Okay. And who do you want some of the main characters to be, or just one person, one like a main element, maybe or even a plot idea?
Well, here's what I see. Have you guys read Good Omens?
Yes.
Yes.
Like one of those real books.
With paper and shit.
You have the four horsemen, and then you have the bikers who decide that they are with the four horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What if you had like the Avengers, and then a bunch of mortals with no superpowers who decided they were with the Avengers?
Oh yeah. So kind of like Avengers groupies in a way, but more like they feel like they want to be part of the group.
Yeah. Well, no, they start. It's like the. Sorry. It's getting shaken in my office right now. The mortal imitators, like in the second Dark Knight movie, when Batman goes and rescues the fake Batmans.
Oh yeah.
They're bad at it. They're just dudes who put on spandex and decided they were Avengers.
All I can keep thinking is like Dr. Horrible and the song that goes, "We do the weird stuff."
See, I keep thinking of the Great Lakes Avengers. It's like, we are heroes too, but we just defend these things that no one cares about. Like the Great Lakes.
Some people care about the Great Lakes. Isn't that where like the Edmund Fitzgerald is? Anyway, yeah, I think that's a good place to start. I mean, I remember reading that book. Don't you guys remember that? Are you waving at
That
someone?
book.
I have house guests.
Oh, you do?
Having
Okay,
a dance
awesome.
party.
Awesome. But yeah, I remember that book. Who was that guy that like he wore the rubber Hulk fists, and like he would run around and punch like buses.
I totally wasn't his name like Earl Fitzgerald or something like that.
Earl Fitzgerald, but
Yeah.
when he got angry, he punched buses. But he had like the store-bought Hulk fists. Did he paint himself green? I forget. How
No, it
did
was
that go?
blue because he couldn't find the right green.
Oh, okay. I
So it was
remember.
blue.
I
It was a big
remember.
part.
It kind of reacted when he started sweating. It's changed colors, and
Right?
so it was kind of
Yeah.
greenish to begin with, and so it just kind of like he had like these streaks of blue going down him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was gross.
No clue. Yeah, not read that book.
Yeah. You ever read that book?
No.
You have.
Did you read its sequel with, the guy that was pretending to be Iron Man, but all he had was a cardboard box for his armor?
Yes, I do remember that one.
Ah!
And was it like the chess piece made of like the boxes you get for like pan pizzas because it's a little bit thicker?
Yes.
And he had
It's
saran
just
wrap
normal.
to make it shiny.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah,
And he couldn't do the glowy thing, so he just got those, like, electric candles and just stuck them on him.
The tap lights! That's what they were!
Yes!
He had the tap lights on his hands and his feet. It made it really hard for him to walk because it's really hard to walk on tap lights and then keep them working.
I know. Yeah, I've tried that after reading the book. I was like, we got to give that a shot, and I'm like, nope, no, this is obviously a work of fiction. But anyway, yeah, you just can't walk on those. I mean, Kristen,
It's very difficult.
do you remember like they tried to stop that heist, right, Kristen?
Yeah, they just, I can't remember how they found out about it, but somehow, like, somebody tipped them off. In retrospect, they might have told them as a joke, like, we know this heist is gonna go down, let's send those guys.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, I think I remember it was that guy who he was like Magneto, but he just had a radio. That was his.
Radito.
Yeah, Radito. Yeah, he had the power
Really,
to.
like, a Hispanic guy, like, that was just his name, and he was like, this kind of sounds superhero-y.
And yet-
Radito.
Yeah, he claimed he could like manipulate radio waves, but that's because he had a microphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
and
Mr.
he's, like,
Microphone.
A Mr. Microphone.
He's just a good enough hacker to like get into the darknet and like figure out that this was going down. But he's also a hate blogger. And
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
So,
Radito writes screes about the fake Avengers.
oh, it wasn't that
This
bad
was how-
when they tried the heist, though, right? I mean, that was like they were good back then. They were kind of like that.
Well, this is how he was going to discredit them, because they were actually helping. They occasionally rescued kittens from trees, and dogs from the pound that just weren't ever going to have a family. They got them adopted, and he was like, they are horrible. I'm going to rob this 7-Eleven, and I'm going to make sure they're aware, and then we're going to kick their ass and take the burritos and go.
That's
Radito needs a burrito.
he really was kind of an uber villain for the fake Avengers. I mean, he just really didn't like them, and so
Well, and there was that chick. What was the butterfly? Wasn't it? Like she had all these powers with butterflies instead of because Black Widow was too scary sounding. So
Oh yeah.
she had to
But
go with
the main failure of being able to call
butterfly.
the main failing of being able to call butterflies is like the fragility of them. So like her best bet was
Right.
to just launch hundreds at him at Redito and like block his glasses a little bit with butterfly dust.
But then she tripped and her shoes came off, and then she started tasting like the ground, and then she got all confused because it tasted really bad. And there is that, because she had forgotten the flaw of being, connected to butterflies.
And she had to borrow those little lights from like Cardboard Man.
Yeah. Well, and then you had Fisheye.
Well, and her love. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Fisheye, who
as long
was
as,
like totally bogus.
He was pretty badass as long as somebody was directly in front of him, but really got skewed as soon as they got over here.
Right.
A little scared because it's like, oh, then they're all weird.
But, he had a.
Well, I think was it Fisheye or was it like that?
He did a wonderful job at being a model.
Yeah. I can't remember. Was it Fisheye or was it Archer Fish? I think isn't that the fish that like wouldn't he just like spit water at people just to try to knock things out of trees? Is that what he did?
Well, that's why he got the cats out.
Oh yeah. But
Archer Fisheye.
Yeah, Archer Fisheye, and like he had to have a like a sidekick to aim his head in the right direction because he couldn't really see unless he was like looking right at it. So a guy'd be like, "It's over there."
No,
that would be the aquarist.
The aquarist, yes. So how did that heist go down? I mean, were they were robbing a 7-Eleven? Was the heist? And
the plan was to get all the burritos.
Yeah, Redito needed a burrito, but he was going, like, he timed it for when they did the cash drop, so he could get, like, those mad 17s of 18s of 7-Eleven dollars, and still, like, the burritos were just kind of a bonus for those, $19. But he knew that if he could get, I can't remember what were they called? Like, this group had it wasn't Avengers.
Oh, man. The
Naturalist.
The Naturalists?
Mm-hmm. They were called the Naturalists.
They all had animal names.
Well, yeah.
Well, kind of, yeah.
Butterfly.
But they're, like, more natural instead of supernatural.
Yeah, Cardboard Man really wasn't an animal, but, it was...
He was pulp. He was pulp.
True.
Post-consumer cardboard.
Post-consumer Cardboard Man, yeah. And he would have like a zip line because that looks really cool. Like when he'd get out of the because he really had a thing about Stark Tower, but he was afraid of heights, and so he would have like this like 7-foot zip line, and his feet would kind of dangle a few feet off the ground, and it would look like he's flying.
Him up into his chest. I remember that.
Yeah,
and it was made from recycled jeans. See, conscious even to the point of that.
Mm-hmm. So Redito is in the 7-Eleven.
And he's dropped a hint to the Naturalists that this heist is going to be going down.
Wait, was it on their fan page that he like their forum or something? He dropped a hint.
Twitter.
Yeah, no, he made up a bunch of anonymous anonymous user accounts, and they kept blocking him because everyone had a radio avatar, and they were like, "Fucking stop, Redito! Like, this is our forum, and this is our community. We control it." And he just kept making new profiles.
He wasn't the cleverest of guys. I noticed that, but he overcame that when he actually like broke into that 7-Eleven, and they're just like, "You got to do something, I guess."
Walked through the door.
Well, he had.
Oh yeah, it was still open.
Figured out.
Yeah. Doesn't close.
24/7. He had figured out feedback. See, he was able to like turn the radio dial enough that it produced the squeal that pretty much made like people go like this and not be able to like take their hands off their ears because it was so annoying. And you were just like, oh look, everybody's busy. I can take the money, I can take the burritos, and then
That asshole.
Well, and that's when 90% post-consumer recycled cardboard man came in the door in a 7-foot zip line. Like, I remember that like when they illustrated this the next day in the papers, that's what they drew.
That was. Well, they got like a courtroom sketch artist for that, though, right? It was kind of like in charcoals.
I mean, well, but the thing is, like, he went through the window and they didn't pay for it when they were done, so they were looking for him.
Mm.
Yeah.
and the butterfly was very, very sad. She cried because they broke the window and they didn't have the money to pay for it, and so
And she only had like 2 days to
live.
live too.
Well, yeah.
Like she
She was really distracted trying to mate in that time.
yeah, and you gotta get your ovipositor working. So they finally caught Ray Dito with his burrito heist, I guess. Did they give back the money? I forget,
Yeah,
or did they just kind of use it for building up their tower?
Well, but the problem is, like, Ray Dito was in there, and he had, like, his Mr. Microphone held up to, like, the speaker. So he got that awful feedback. He got like, the $200 money drop in the burritos. And then the naturalists come crashing in. And the desk clerk at this point is like, oh, fuck this. Like, you guys are not taking me for everything.
Mm-mm.
And they would have been able to apprehend Ray Dito if the clerk had not come at them with a baseball bat. Like, how do you tell them apart? Like, that was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of people in weird costumes to the untrained eye at that point. And
who has a boombox nowadays, like up by their face? And then a lady with little butterfly wings and all these butterflies, and a guy in a box with swiveling around on tap lights. And luckily, he had an aluminum bat, and he was able to just, like, beat about their heads, and they all ran off. And so there was a lot of money strewn around. Okay, it's like $1.25. So
it was kind of like it was a little bit like Robin Hood in a way, though, because it was giving that money back to the poor.
But I think someone stopped to wheeze the juice too. It's 7-Eleven. You have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't remember who. I'm sure it was Butterfly because it was sweet and sticky, and she had to do that because she's like, this is a good sticky.
Post-consumer recycle man bought her a little bit of time because he couldn't, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, like, somebody with a cell phone camera got him as he tried to, like, work his way back up the zip line to the van.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just unhook from the zip line. It wasn't really that well thought out.
There's a whole lot not really well thought out, but they did save the day in the end, in that the 7-Eleven opened, the next stayed open. People were able.
I would have over that window.
The neighborhood was able to buy more stuff from 7-Eleven with 7-Eleven's money.
Yeah, they put more burritos on the little burrito heater thing, and
They had to replace the hot dogs because they had been touched by other people, so they were fresh hot dogs.
There's kind of a streak of like
neighborhood. Fresh hot dogs is a great benefit to a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And there's like still a stain of like green and blue from the guy with the big Hulk fists when he kind of bumped up against the wall. They don't want to wash that. It's kind of like a memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, someone actually famous was here. The almost Hulk guy.
I think we've told this story. I think that's all I remember about this story. What do you guys think?
Well,
yeah, I don't remember.
It's kind of hard to remember a lot of details. It did hit like page 11.
Yeah.
They don't give a lot of details back there, unfortunately.
Hi, Charisse. We finished the story. We saw
Sorry,
you.
my internet biffed it. It was like, no! And I was like, fuck!
That'll happen. That'll happen. It's okay. It was a good ending. Burritos were made
Good.
again in the end. Um,
Yay! At
so
least it wasn't trauma.
so that was our hey, remember that story segment of Freddy's fan fiction. People who are watching and listening, what'd you think? What could you improve? I've never done this before, pretty obviously. But yeah, we'll probably do this again. But next gen, we need one of you three to rate a story. Anyone want to volunteer?
Sure.
You know,
I
it's
will.
go for it.
Kristen, you are volunteering. Okay, Rob.
I have a great one about boxing.
Hey.
It is a wonderful one about boxing.
That's great, but you're gonna write a different one. Rob, Charisse, what kind of prompts should we give her? What should the style be in?
Style noir.
Noir? She likes the noir. I think we should play to her strength there. I like her noir stories. What kind of setting do you think, Rob?
Steampunk.
Steampunk. Okay. Let me see. I think the characters should be Hansel and Gretel.
I think they made a movie about this.
Yes, it was very good.
Was it steampunk?
Yeah, it
Yes.
kind of was.
Fuck it, never mind. Erase that. I don't. Oh man.
All right.
You're not gonna do
How
Hansel and
about
Gretel.
Jurassic Park? Smurfs at Jurassic
Do you
Park.
need me to list genres for you so you can pick one?
Newt Gingrich.
I don't even know.
Do your research. Newt Gingrich.
Jesus.
How do you
That's
write
what I like to
information
hear.
out? Newt Gingrich.
Newt Gingrich steampunk noir.
Yeah. Everything else is up to you, Kristen.
Oh, okay. So
May
dead
the
or
force be with you.
alive.
Newt Gingrich doesn't have to be a main character. He doesn't have to be like the focus of the story, but he has to be in there. He has to have a
Okay.
good section about him. So, I want to thank Kristen and Rob and
You
Charisse. I do, and I will. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Charisse, for coming back to this rebirthening of Freddy's fan fiction. I want to thank the viewers and listeners for viewing and listening. I think this will be back in about 2 weeks. I'm going to do a bi-weekly thing, so that'll give you 2 weeks, Kristen, to write a story. And we'll have... Yeah, I know you can do it. I know you ain't worried, but yeah, that's your deadline. You guys, anything last minute you want to plug that you haven't plugged already?
Look for my show every Thursday night. That is Talking Shit with Dave and Earl. You can find the audio if I ever upload it listen.com/Dave and Earl. I'm on the Twatters @ _the Russian.
Charisse, anything you want to plug?
I've got two. Of course, the convention. It's in a month and a half, so it's going to be an awesome year. It's the evolution of gaming. So,
Sweet. Head out to Rapid City. Yep.
Yeah. And then the other one is I actually before the last time we've done this, I started a new group called Bunny's Heroes, and I take cosplay characters like Disney princesses and action heroes to go see sick kids at the hospital. And right now we're really trying to raise funds for the Walk for Wishes for Make-A-Wish here. So if anybody even has like 50 cents or $1 they're willing to throw at my group, just go to our website, bunniesheroes.com, and there's a link that you can donate straight to the Make-A-Wish for us. So,
Okay. Yeah. We'll put that up on Twitter. I'll blast that on the social media.
Thank you.
So, yeah, Bunny's Heroes. Check it out.
Yes.
And Rob?
I'm going to be sponsoring the Orc Stomp at Gen Con this year for my own site. It's the 5K run that supports the Ronald McDonald House in Indiana. Dear to me, just because, kids in the hospital and such. And make fat geeks run, at least walk, and I'm all for that too.
Get onto their feet and move. Good idea.
Hey, I was a fat geek.
Hey, everyone, once you get moving, you get healthier. It's all good. Let's see, last thing, me plugging stuff. This show 2 weeks from now. Check out my blog at blogswami.com. Check out everyone else's stuff too. And
One last plug before we go.
Yeah.
Your wife.
My wife, yeah,
Your wife.
yeah, that's off the air, by the way. Anyway, so, or actually, $9.95 a minute if you want it on the air. So, I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining us, and you have a good evening, folks.
You too.
Yes. Thank you.